All right, ready to really sink our teeth into this one?
Ooh, I like where this is going.
We're diving deep into the love triangle that is the Twilight Saga.
Okay.
And look, before anyone says it,
Yeah.
we know. This might seem like, I don't know.
A little lighthearted.
Yeah, a little lighthearted, a little fun, but
Fun for sure.
But there's some surprisingly deep stuff going on under the surface here, trust me.
Oh, absolutely.
So, like, that's what we're going to unpack today.
Yeah.
Why does Bella Swan, our
protagonist.
our protagonist, our supposed,
Every girl.
every girl.
Exactly. Yeah, she's just like us, right?
Well, that's what's so interesting, right?
Right.
Why did she fall head over heels for this? Like,
Alluring, dangerous.
yeah, alluring, dangerous Edward Cullen
Over, well, we can't forget.
over her werewolf best friend.
Yes, Jacob Black.
Jacob Black, yeah.
Right, the ever-present love triangle.
Okay, so,
What's so fascinating about this, I think, is that it forces us to kind of confront our own ideas about what love is, what desire is, what we truly crave in a relationship. And we've got some really compelling sources, some literary analyses that I think unpack this in a really interesting way.
okay. I'm excited.
So whether you're Team Edward or Team Jacob, and I'm not saying which one I am.
Or maybe even, like, Team Switzerland. That's fine.
Team Switzerland, yeah, we're not here to judge.
We're just here to analyze.
Exactly. You might be surprised by what we discover.
I'm ready.
Okay, let's do it.
So let's start with the characters themselves.
Okay.
Bella Swan, right?
Yeah.
Moves to Forks
Yeah.
and, like, immediately
Feels out of sync.
feels out of sync. Yeah, like she just doesn't belong.
This is key, right? This is a crucial detail, I think, because Bella's personality is like the blueprint for understanding all of the choices that she makes later on.
Yeah.
This introspective nature, this kind of like slight uncertainty about who she is that makes her both relatable to us as readers, but also incredibly vulnerable to this like powerful connection that she feels.
Right, and then we have Edward Cullen,
Oh, okay.
our
vampire
resident vampire, yeah.
trying to live his best like vegetarian life.
Right, like he's with his family. They're trying to,
They have their rules, they're sticking to them.
exactly. And then Bella Swan's
And her scent.
her scent, like, throws a wrench in the whole plan.
So it's a wrench in it, yeah.
It's like their whole animal blood only plan goes
Out the window.
out the window.
Which is, understandable. I mean, it's interesting, though, because he is drawn to her, but it's not just the scent.
Okay.
It's the fact that he can't read her mind.
Ah, so she's a mystery.
She's a mystery.
Okay.
She's a complete mystery to him, which,
It's like catnip for vampires.
it adds another layer to this already electric connection they have.
Okay, so we've got that forbidden love trope, but like times a million.
Oh, yeah, it's like on steroids.
It's on steroids, right? You've got this dangerous vampire who is drawn to this, like,
Seemingly ordinary.
ordinary girl.
I love that you said that trope because it really taps into something, I think, about human desire that's so real.
Okay, maybe.
Like, we are hardwired, I think, to be fascinated by the unknown,
Okay.
the taboo.
Okay.
Right. So this isn't just about vampires and werewolves. This is about that, like, yearning for something beyond the everyday, something more.
It's like that,
That taste of the extraordinary.
yes.
Yeah.
You get it.
See, this is why I wanted to have you on this deep dive, because, like, now I'm thinking about all those times I was, like, drawn to the bad boy in high school. And I'm like,
There it is.
is it just bad judgment? Or is it this, like, deep-seated need
It's the yearning.
for the extraordinary? It's the yearning, exactly.
Well, we've all been there.
Okay, but we also have to talk about Edward's, like, baggage here.
Oh, yeah. He's got a lot.
He's smitten with Bella,
Yeah.
but he's also terrified of, like,
His own nature.
his own nature, yeah.
Right. And this is where we get into, like, the really meaty stuff.
Because Edward embodies this, like, classic Byronic hero that we see in literature.
Okay.
Think like Heathcliff from Wuthering Heights,
Okay.
Mr. Rochester in Jane Eyre.
Right.
They're brooding, they're tormented by their past, they carry this darkness that is both alluring and dangerous. Right. And that appeal, I think, is rooted in our own really complicated relationship with desire and with danger.
It's like that. We want what we can't have.
Exactly.
But then we have Jacob,
Yes, we do.
this, like, ever loyal best friend.
Right there, always there.
He's offering Bella a completely different kind of connection,
Totally.
especially New Moon. When Edward is, like,
Ellen Moon.
makes the heartbreaking decision to leave,
Yeah.
Jacob is, like, Bella's rock.
Yes.
He is her link to normalcy.
He's grounding her amidst the chaos.
Yes.
Right. He's offering warmth, stability, belonging.
But he's also not just, like, the safe choice.
Okay, I like where you're going with this.
He's not just human.
Right.
He's got his own thing going on.
Yeah, he's got his own supernatural thing.
Right, so it's not as easy as like, oh, do I want the normal life or the extraordinary life?
It's not black and white.
No.
It's two different kinds of extraordinary.
And two different approaches to love, too.
Ooh, tell me more about that.
Like, Edward is all, like, mystery, intensity.
Yes.
And Jacob's, like, open.
Swordsman.
And their relationship grows from this place of, like, friendship, shared experiences.
Right, they have history.
It really makes you wonder, like, what kind of love do you want?
Right, what speaks to you? The fiery, all-consuming passion?
Or the slow burn?
Or that slow, steady burn of a love that's built on, like, trust and understanding?
So I think that brings us to, like, the million-dollar question here.
Okay.
Why, with these two very distinct paths in front of her,
Yeah.
does Bella ultimately choose Edward?
It's a great question.
And lucky for us,
Yes.
our sources really delve into the answer.
Okay, good.
And it's more than just vampire sparkle.
More than just the sparkle.
More than just the sparkle. So we've got Bella, right? She's
Yeah.
caught between these two totally different,
But equally intense, I would say.
yeah, forms of love.
Right, it's not like one is better than the other, objectively.
Right, exactly. And our sources actually pinpoint, like, 4
Okay, 4.
key reasons why Edward ultimately wins her over.
I'm intrigued.
So reason number 1,
Okay, hit me with it.
that undeniable spark.
Yes.
Like, it's that instant, almost irrational.
Oh, irrational, totally.
Sure.
It defies logic. There's no explanation for it.
The kind that makes you just, like,
Throw your hands up.
throw caution to the wind.
Exactly, and say, you know what?
Whatever.
To heck with the consequences.
This feels right.
Our sources, some people call this the fated lovers trope,
Oh, interesting.
which I think is kind of ironic.
How so?
Because you have Edward, right, who is a vampire.
Right.
And he represents, like, the ultimate rebellion against fate.
That's true.
Like, he is choosing his own destiny.
Yeah.
He is saying, like, I don't care what the natural order of things is.
Right.
I'm going to live outside of that.
Which maybe speaks to something deeper in Bella, too.
Tell me more.
Like, remember, she always feels out of place,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's a little odd.
Like, she doesn't quite belong.
Yeah, like she's searching for something,
Yes.
but she doesn't know what it is yet.
And then Edward comes along, and he sees her, but, like, really sees her.
Past all of that.
Yes.
He sees past her awkwardness, past her insecurities, and he sees the real Bella underneath.
So it's not even just about, like, the vampire thing.
It's deeper than that.
It's that need to be, like, really seen and known
Yes.
for who you really are.
Especially, I would argue, by someone who represents something outside of the ordinary.
Okay.
Someone who validates that feeling in you that, like, there's got to be something more.
Right. Like, you're not crazy for wanting more.
Exactly. And our sources talk about how, that yearning to be seen, to be acknowledged, it's a huge part of who Bella is.
Okay.
It's a driving force for her.
She's not content with, like,
Mediocrity.
yeah, like a boring, predictable life.
She wants the extraordinary, something that reflects, like, the intensity of her inner world. You know what I mean?
I do.
And Edward, with all of his mystery, his, like, outsider status,
Yeah.
he embodies that perfectly.
Okay, so we've got the connection. We've got that feeling of being seen.
Or 2 for 2.
What's number 3?
Okay, so this one gets into, like, the nitty-gritty of their different approaches to love, right?
Ooh, okay, how so?
So Edward, vampire or not,
Right.
consistently puts Bella's needs first.
Really?
He prioritizes her happiness over his own desires.
Even though he's like...
Even though, hello, he's a vampire.
He's a vampire.
She's this, like, delicious-smelling human.
Right, so it's a lot.
He's willing to make sacrifices.
Okay, like what?
Big ones.
Yeah.
To keep her safe.
Like leaving her in New Moon.
Exactly. Like, talk about a grand gesture, right?
I mean, I don't know if I'd recommend that necessarily.
No, this is not relationship advice from the Deep Dive team.
Yeah, do not try that at home.
But it's a big deal. It's huge.
Yeah.
Because it shows how much he loves her, right?
He doesn't want to put her in danger.
He doesn't want to take away her choice.
Okay, so then how does that compare to Jacob? Because he obviously loves her too.
Oh, Jacob, yeah, his love is very real.
But he wants her to be a werewolf.
Well, he wants what he thinks is best for her.
Right.
Which is, debatable.
That's putting it mildly.
But, it's coming from a place of love.
Right.
But he struggles
Goop too.
to accept her choice.
Which, if you love someone...
Will set them free.
Exactly.
Even if it, like, breaks you into a million pieces.
Right, and that's kind of the difference, isn't it?
Yeah, it's that classic dilemma.
Like, Edward, he embodies that. Like,
He gets it.
he gets,
He understands that, like, loving someone means letting them go.
whereas
Watching
Jacob, he wants to, like,
control it.
yes.
He wants to control her. He wants to control the situation.
And that brings us to reason number 4.
Okay, hit me with number 4.
Bella's desire for,
Transformation.
yes, transformation.
Which, I get it on the surface,
Yeah.
wanting to be a vampire.
Kind of extreme.
A little extreme, but think about it this way.
Okay.
She's not just drawn to Edward.
Okay.
She's drawn to what he represents.
Okay, like what?
Immortality,
Okay.
power, transcending all the, like, limitations of being human.
Okay, so it's not just about being with him.
It's about becoming something more.
Becoming a completely different version of herself.
Exactly. And I think that's what's so powerful about this, right? Especially for, like, young women who are often told, like, shrink yourself, right?
Oh, yeah.
Fit into this box. And she's like, no.
I'm going to be a vampire.
I'm going to be a vampire. I'm going to embrace my power. I'm going to defy your expectations. I think it's amazing.
So it's not just a romantic choice. It's like
It's a statement.
a declaration of who she wants to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Owning her power, defying those expectations, and embracing the extraordinary.
It's kind of brilliant.
And I think that's where Twilight, despite all of the, like, the criticism it gets,
Oh, yeah.
it taps into something really universally relatable.
Okay.
It's about that human desire to, like,
To break free.
break free, to become something more than what we are.
To write your own story.
Exactly.
Even if it's a little messy.
Oh, it's definitely messy.
Even if it means, like, turning into a vampire.
Who are we to judge?
Exactly. Okay, so we've spent a lot of time with this love triangle,
A lot of time.
dissecting these characters.
They're fascinating.
Really trying to figure out, like, what is going on in Bella's head?
What does she want?
What does she want?
The eternal question.
Right, but, like, let's be real.
Yeah.
Most of us, we're probably not going to be,
Joining a coven of vampires anytime soon.
yeah, I mean, no judgment if you are,
Of course, if that's your thing, more power to you.
but what are we, like, the regular people?
The human.
The human's supposed to take away from all of this.
Right, like, what's the message here?
What's the message?
I mean, that's the beauty of a deep dive like this, right?
Okay.
It's about more than just the vampires and the werewolves.
Yeah.
It's about holding up that mirror and asking yourself, like, what resonates with me here?
I like that.
Even if, like, we're not going to go out and become vampires.
Right.
Which, again, no judgment.
We can all relate to, like, wanting that connection,
Right.
right?
Absolutely.
Wanting to find your people.
A longing that need to be seen.
It's like when Bella, like, realizes that Edward sees this side of her.
Yes. Yes.
That she's always wanted to be.
And I think that's so powerful.
To have that validation.
Yeah, that feeling of being truly seen
It's huge.
by someone who gets it.
And I think Twilight, like, it does a good job of showing us that, like, desire can be messy.
Oh, tell me about it.
Right. It's not always, like,
Sunshine and Roses?
yeah, Bella's, like, drawn to Edward,
Mm-hmm.
but she's also terrified.
Right, because it's intense.
It's intense.
And it challenges everything she thought she knew.
I think we don't talk about that enough, right?
What's that?
Like, sometimes the things that we want the most,
Yeah.
the things that, like, wake us up,
Yes.
those can be the things that are also the scariest.
100%.
And maybe that's what makes it, like, exciting.
I think you're onto something. It's like
Right.
the things that scare us the most are often the things that we need to, like, lean into.
Ooh, I like that.
Which brings me to another really important takeaway from our little deep dive here.
Okay, let's hear it.
Transformation.
Oh, right.
Bella becoming a vampire.
It's a whole thing.
It's not just about being with Edward.
It's about, like, her own evolution,
Shedding that old skin.
right? Becoming a new, more powerful version of herself.
That's it. And isn't that what we all want?
I mean, I think so.
To break free from the shoulds and the expectations?
Yeah, like, forget the labels. Forget what everyone else thinks.
Forget it.
Just be you.
And maybe that means, like, a little bit of chaos.
Maybe a lot.
Maybe a lot, but you know what?
But
Embrace it.
so as we close out
Our Twilight deep dive.
our Twilight deep
I
dive,
love it.
it's safe to say that this is, like, way more
Way more.
than just a teen romance.
It's juicy. There's so much there.
It really is.
It makes you think.
It really does. And I think
Okay.
ultimately the takeaway is
Okay.
no matter who you are, Team Edward, Team Jacob,
Team Switzerland.
Team Switzerland,
It doesn't matter.
it really doesn't.
What matters is.
What matters is that you embrace that journey of, like, figuring out who you are,
Love that.
finding your people,
Yeah.
and daring to live a life that is both authentic and, dare I say, extraordinary.
Yes. On that note, I think we should wrap it up. I'm here for it.
Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive.
This has been amazing. Thank you for having me.
And thank you to all of our listeners for coming along for the ride.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time.